Alright, Weartesters Duke back again with another review. Seems like here lately all I've been doing is reviews from some off-brand companies, and actually that's not really a bad thing. It gets kind of boring doing the same kind of reviews. Not that I'm opposed to it, but I like to get some different shoes in, different technologies, different styles in, so we can really get a feel for what the industry's doing, besides just getting the same Lunar, the same Air Jordan, the same Adidas Boost, Under Armour Micro G. So this time we're coming with a shoe that I was saying actually a couple of months ago, and I'm sorry I'm so late to review this shoe, but I've really been putting some miles on it and really wanted to test it out because it's really surprising how well these off-brand companies are coming. And this is the 361 Volitation runner. You might remember about a year ago I did the 361 Chromosole runner, which is 361's first entry into the US market. This is their second entry. It's meant to be more of a high-level, everyday runner for everybody. The Chromosole is more of a speed shoe. This one's more of just a cushioned ride, and we'll get into the cushioning system. They've got their own proprietary foam that they've been using and putting in these shoes, and it's really comparable to what you find on the market with other brands. So that being said, let's get right into it. Alright, first things first, let's get into materials. The upper, basically your open cell mesh. If you've seen an Asics running shoe, a New Balance running shoe, Brooks running shoe of the 4, 5, 6 years ago, it's that type of mesh. There's not much difference in it than what you find in those shoes. It is foam backed, which is really nice. It's got a little bit of that foam backing, kind of like the CP38 from Jordan, to get into the basketball reviews. But it's really soft. It's really flexible. There's not really any hot spots in it. I did wear these without socks a couple of times and didn't feel any rubbing or chafing in any spots. Do have a little bit of fuse right here in some high stress areas where they could have put a seam. Years ago they probably would have put a seam or a strip of like a suede or a nubuck or something here, but they've fused it right here to tie these two pieces together, and the flexibility is really good. One thing I would have changed is this toe rand is really stiff when you first get them. Like I say, I've had them for almost 2 months. I've probably put, I don't know, 120 miles on them maybe, and but the toe rand did break in quite nicely, but starting off it's really stiff on that toe box. You got a really solid heel counter here in the back, which in the land of the Nike Freeze and the home of the Under Armour Geminis and Apollos is really kind of a throwback, but I did like it. It feels like a traditional running shoe, and if you're a fan of those, then you'll fit right in here. All right, real quickly on the fit, I felt these, I could have went up half size on these. I got a 10.5 like I normally get. 10.5 fits me great in all of my Boost shoes, all my basketball shoes from Adidas, Nike, Under Armour. These without socks or with really thin socks fit perfect. The midfoot is tied in. You can see the lacing system here really allows you to cinch up. It's just a little bit short right here in the big toe, not enough that I would go full size. I could see, like I say, a half a size, or wear thin socks or no socks and you're good. Otherwise, I would say go up a half a size. They do fit kind of narrow in this area, and I mean, you can look at the shoe here, and where normal running shoes have a little bit of a flare out right here around the forefoot, these fit really narrow, and the mesh makes it better because it gives with your foot. But if you've got a wide foot, again, look at going up that half size. Okay, I know it sounds a little bit weird to do in a running shoe review, but we're going to go over traction. I've had a couple of running shoes in the last year that I've reviewed. Traction really, for lack of a better word, sucked. They're slick when it's wet. Any kind of ground that gets a little bit loose material on it, they were sliding around. These feature a blown rubber molded outsole. It starts off really sticky. It's squeaked when I was walking in my hardwood floors in the house. Not I'm bragging about hardwood floors, just saying it gave a little squeak to it. As I put some miles on it, of course that layer is worn off and the squeak has went down a little bit, but they still give a really good grip. You can hear the rubber they're giving there on the softness. Again, like I say, I put probably 120 miles on these, and the outsole still looks pretty good. So I think you're good in the durability category as well. All right, now we get to my favorite part, and it's really the reason I requested to review these shoes, and that's the cushioning. I keep up with most of the shoe brands and on Instagram, Twitter, their Facebook pages. I check out their website pages a lot, and just to see what new technologies are coming. I mean, we all see Finish Line releases, Foot Locker releases about the new Nikes coming out, but how many times do you see a Peak or a 361 or an Anta or something on just a regular web page or a consumer website. So you have to go to their sites to check out what they've got coming out. And after last year at the Chromoso, I really liked the cushioning in that shoe. It was really a fast feeling shoe. So they had the new cushioning came out called QDP. So I had to check it out and see what it was about. It's a 3-layer system. You've got your QDP system right here, which is their quick foam. It's their proprietary foam they put in their running shoes. And the thing about this shoe is it features a dual density quick foam. You have your midsole here that's a more dense, more responsive feeling quick foam. You have a quick foam insole that's really, really soft. It feels like an open cell. Oh crap, I can't think of the name of it. But it's really, really soft for a nice step-in comfort. And then you've got your molded Phylon outsole, midsole combination here that's underneath the traction pattern. And what that does is it's meant to be a micro G, a boost type of foam, which most of us are familiar with. And if you're not familiar with that, I can't help you. I don't know where you've been for the last 4 years. If you are familiar with it, I would compare this more to an early micro G iteration. It's lively. It's got a little bounce to it, but it's not as springy as Boost or the micro G that you get today. Picture it more like an Adiprene Plus back when if you've worn an Adidas Adiprene Plus running shoe, that's what it feels like. Not the basketball so much, but the Adidas, the running shoes that use full Adiprene that are bouncy and they're responsive, that's what it feels like. Now again, as far as longevity and response on the cushioning, again, it does have a little spring to it. I wish it had a little bit more here in the forefoot, because you can see it rides pretty low in the forefoot, which is not bad for a speed shoe. But I did feel a little bit of jar, a little bit of pain after a few miles in the forefoot, which I'm not a runner. I'm a basketball player who runs when I don't play basketball. So for me to tell you I'm a very technical runner and I ran 15 miles and I could feel my second, third, fourth wind, whatever, I can't do that. I can tell you on my 4 or 5 miles that I do run, after about mile 3 or 4, I start feeling some impact right here in my forefoot under my toes. The heel was great. The heel was fantastic. No jarring, no response. I've been trying to run more midfoot now, and every once in a while, you catch that heel strike when you get a little bit tired and your form gets a little bit sloppy. I didn't feel any impact on these in my back, my knees, or anything. So that, and from mile 1 to mile 120, whatever I'm on now, I haven't noticed any change in the cushioning at all. It's still just as bouncy and lively. So it feels to me like they found a winner on this, which makes me extremely happy. Now, support on a running shoe is a little bit different. Most of it's going to come from your arch support, your heel counter, and your laces, which I guess it's not really that different. That is just like a basketball shoe. You're not going to have any ankle support, of course, but the lacing system on this runs pretty narrow, which really lets you pull the foot in. The shoe's very, very flexible, so it lets your foot really wrap into that shoe. You've got a big thermoplastic piece, TPU piece here under the arch, and it's rock solid. It's not going anywhere. You see the shoe bends right where it's supposed to, not where it's not, which is a great thing if you're running a lot of miles. You don't want that pain right there under your arch. This is soft. This is more the QDP foam. It's not a plastic piece, so it's not there for the support. And then, like I said, you've got the strong heel counter, runs all the way up to here, that just keeps your foot locked in. One thing that really, really helped on this, and I'm glad they went to this, it's something I miss, is you can see this thick heel foam right here, and you can see the dirt from all my miles I've put in it too. But you can see the thick heel foam here, that it's really, really light. It's really not very dense at all, but it allows to wrap around that Achilles where you get no heel slip whatsoever. Same with the tongue. It's an old school tongue. You can see there's no inner sleeve in there. Just laces straight up, tie it, and you're ready to go. But it's fat with padding, and it really lets your foot form into the shoe, and it gives a step-in comfort feeling to it. And just one last category really quickly, I'll do it on the running shoes. I do it a little bit on the basketball shoes, but not as much, is the transition. You can see this shoe sits really, really kind of flat until right here at the toe flare. You can see it's got a little kick up. The transition on it, again, I've been trying to be more of a mid and forefoot runner on some short distances, trying to restructure my technique for that. This shoe is built more, to me, for a heel striker, midfoot to heel strike, with a thicker cushioning in the heel. It does have a pretty good drop right here. I think it's a 9mm drop. Not really conducive to a lot of forefoot running, but if you're going to put some mileage in, and you're like me, a weekend runner, transition's not sloppy at all. There's no slapping, and the fit is good. So you're good on that part. It's just it's not gonna feel as fast or as smooth as a shoe like a 3.0 or again like the the Under Armour Apollos. All right, so that wraps me up on the 361 Volitation. Priced at $110. Maybe a little hard to enter the market. I mean, serious runners, yeah, they don't mind paying $110, and actually $110 is not very expensive for a serious runner. But as we all know, the notorious U.S. market is owned by, 3 or 4 companies. You got your Brooks, your Asics, of course your Nike, and Adidas with the Boost right now. New Balance is in there too, and it's kind of hard for mainstream marketers to push this shoe. However, serious running stores, and I've already noticed some running magazines and running websites have put this shoe on their list of brands to watch and even won some awards. Again, priced at $110. It's not super expensive, and for what you get with this kind of foam cushioning that's going to last, it's really responsive. It's actually a pretty good buy. The only thing holding them back is just nobody's heard of them. That's why we're here. We're trying to give good products, good reviews. This shoe is a good runner. I won't say it's great. Again, I'm not a serious runner, so my opinion may not really hold water for some people that do run marathons every other day. But I can say for somebody that runs 4 or 5 miles, like most of you out there would probably do at the most, 4 or 5 miles 2 or 3 times a week, this shoe really gets the job done. I look forward to see what they've got coming next. They've got some really interesting trail runners. If you haven't checked out 361, check them out. It's the brand Kevin Love wears to play basketball. That's probably what they're most known for. But it's coming into the U.S. market. They've got some new designers and some new products that are really, really coming on strong. Again, 361. I enjoyed the Chromoso. I enjoy the Volitation, and good job. Next up, I have no idea. I'm out of shoes to review, so we'll see what we can surprise you with. Thank you, Weartesters. Out. All right, Weartesters Duke back again with another review. Seems like here lately all I've been doing is reviews from some off-brand companies, and actually that's not really a bad thing. It gets kind of boring doing the same kind of reviews. Not that I'm opposed to it, but I like to get some different shoes in, different technologies, different styles in, so we can really get a feel for what the industry's doing, besides just getting the same Lunar, the same Air Jordan, the same Adidas Boost, Under Armour Micro G. So this time we're coming with a shoe that I was sent actually a couple of months ago, and I'm sorry I'm so late to review this shoe, but I've really been putting some miles on it and really wanted to test it out because it's really surprising how well these off-brand companies are coming. And this is the 361 Volitation runner. You might remember about a year ago I did the 361 Chromoso runner, which was 361's first entry into the U.S. market. This is their second entry. It's meant to be more of a high-level, everyday runner for everybody. The Chromoso was more of a speed shoe. This one's more of just a cushioned ride, and we'll get into the cushioning system. They've got their own proprietary foam that they've been using and putting in these shoes, and it's really comparable to what you find on the market with other brands. So that being said, let's get right into it. All right, first thing